This is from Michael Amweni. And then this one says, hey, now we haven't even started. This one says, kudos to our president-elect John Mahama. Indeed, Ghanaians voted well. Ofori Amanfo from Kumasi Santasi. Then this one says, we are waiting patiently to see what the president-elect has to offer Ghanaians. It seems all hope is lost. There are no jobs and the prices of goods keep increasing. Those who are working receive scanty salaries. You guys look amazing. I like your Christmas tree. Wow, thank you. This is from Barrister K. Rich. Thank you for your comments. Yes, Miriam, what do you have for us today?
So I have today's daily graphic with me. And on the front page, we have President-elect Mahama outlines top priorities. Kita School concerned about Category B classification. Miriam Bona named 2024 Best Nurse Midwife. Yesterday in Parliament, majority-minority tussle over 350 million tax waivers, and that is what Clement spoke about earlier. But let me take out of it so we can have a discussion. So the government's efforts to get Parliament to approve a total of 350 million Ghana cedis as tax exemption for 41 businesses operating under the One District, One Factory is facing stiff opposition in Parliament. This is because the minority caucus in Parliament has expressed its readiness to block the consideration of the amount. The group argued that granting tax waivers to well-endowed businesses with financial muscles would impose a tax burden on the Ghanaian taxpayer, as well as a fiscal burden on the incoming government in 2025. Discussing the business for the 7th meeting of the 8th Parliament to be on the order paper of the 4th session, the minority persistently objected to the consideration of tax exemptions as it has for the past 2 years. So that is what happened in Parliament yesterday as part of the many activities that went on. The minority, which is going to be majority very soon, are trying to block that 350 million tax waivers that is being given to the businesses under the One District, One Factory. And the One District, One Factory is for the incumbent government as one of their projects. And so this is in a way going to give them that good name out of power that, this was what they were able to do. But I think I agree with the minority in blocking this, because at the end of the day, these businesses are doing well for themselves. Why are you still giving them tax exemptions when the ordinary tomato seller or the ordinary trader by the roadside who is struggling,
or even the startup business?
Exactly. These are all people paying taxes here and there, but because they are not part of the One District, One Factory agenda, they are not exempted from taxes. So I mean, it is laudable.
Even with the One District, One Factory, I think I saw something making an allegation that these factories are actually existing factories that have been rebranded.
Yes.
I don't know how true that is. And waiving $350 million or cedis, dollars in taxes just because it is a project for one party or one incumbent government does not serve the people, because then, as they said, this would rather reflect on the smaller businesses. Why not waive the taxes of the businesses rather starting, so that they can get some footing in, and within a few years then they also start paying?
Yes, there are so many
because
things.
we are losing 350 million,
and you will be going out of power very soon. So yesterday one of the MPs said something that let's those in power deal with their issues. And so if you're in power and you can make this a reality, do it, but don't put it on the next government's neck to come and do it for you. It is really going to, and there are allegations that the government is trying their possible way to make sure that the incoming government is left in debt, so that they won't be able to.
They already are left in debt, if we are being honest.
I just want to say something more regarding this tax scheme. So in the broader sense, government or the current government is trying to reduce the burden on these very businesses in terms of payment of taxes. And when you look at what this 1D, 1F is all about, it was actually introduced to bring a lot of, let's say, job. The purpose was to bring job. And it's quite unfortunate that we are not seeing more of the job creation in this 1D, 1F. So to my point of view, I think government wanted to do that to relieve, as I said, to relieve this businesses from paying this amount of money so that they can channel that money to another venture. Because if government will leave you of a particular amount of money, being it's 50 million United States dollars, they expect you to channel that same money to a venture. So you are supposed to channel that money to expanding the business you are running so that you can create more job for people. But the question is, after giving this tax exemption, is that what the business are going to do? Are they going to use the money to support the community we find ourselves? Because some businesses in some community, it's so bad that they are even social amenities in the community. They expect government to come and do. But we expect businesses who are enjoying tax exemptions to be able to do such things because you have a corporate social responsibility. When you go to some of the mining communities, it's so terrible. It's so terrible to stay there. So we are expecting that when businesses enjoy tax exemption, use that money you're supposed to pay as a tax to either do corporate social responsibility or expand the business to get more people work. That's the main purpose.
I think leaving it to the businesses to use the money to do these projects is going to be very difficult. So why don't you let them pay the tax, take the money and then use it for...
Or so then also these factories, are they state owned or it is half and half? Or they are purely privatized?
So look at 1D, 1F. It's like government-owned industries, but currently the one we've seen so far is like partnership thing. And I know one already existing firm, but the government went into like rebrand or support it. It's now 1D, 1F. So it's like partnership with the government. So when they are doing that, assuming if they're supposed to pay 50, as I said earlier, there should be a regulatory something that should bound the business that this amount of money that you're supposed to pay to me, now don't pay the money, but use the money for A, B, or C.
That means we are Ghanaians.
But so you know, there used to be this initiative where if you are training people, you decide to train more people, the government can give you some waivers on that. So if these factories are going to be doing that, where we will, like we are saying, job creation, you're going to do that, then waiving the taxes is understandable because you're investing that money in training the people. But then we're not hearing anything like that. We shouldn't have them. It also seems there's a video that we can put up for one of the stories you shared. So can we have the video, please?
The early things that I think I want to do is, one, to begin again the process that was started by Professor Mills in respect of the constitutional review. It stalled at a certain point, and for the last 8 years we haven't moved it anywhere. I think that the time has come for us to look at our constitution again. It has served us well, and I still believe it's one of the best constitutions any African country can have. But after using it for several years, we realize that there are a few parts that we need to tweak so that it can serve us for even further generations to come. And so one of the things that I intend to do is to hold a national validation conference where we would bring all stakeholders in a form of consultative assembly. The legal people will know how to phrase it so that we can move it forward. Now what we want to do is to bring the constitutional review report back to this validation conference. There might be things that we flagged that we wanted to amend that might not be necessary again this time. And then by the new things that we didn't really take notice of, that will become important for us to include in the review. I mean, for instance, if you take the impasse between Parliament and the judiciary, nobody anticipated that a situation like this would arise. But once it's arisen, we must clearly state what the mandate of the Speaker is, so that it's unambiguous, so that nobody has to go to the Supreme Court to seek interpretation about what the Speaker's role is when vacancies occur. So these are some of the things that I think a validation conference like that will help to streamline. And once we've done that, we can separate the two amendments. We have the entrenched clauses and we have the non-entrenched.
So that was a video of our president-elect with VOA, right? Yes.
I think he made a profound statement that I'm very happy about, and even tells me that he has been following whatever has been happening in governance. More recently, we had issues with the legislature and also judiciary, and he said the constitutional review will help, streamline what the judiciary is supposed to do, and also what's the. I think it is a very, very, profound observation that the president-elect has made, because he wouldn't want to experience that when he's in power at the executive board, when you realize two of the arms of government are in dispute, and we hope to see how his governance will take shape.
Considering the welfare of Ghanaians is also in his hands, we just wish for the best. Yes. So quickly into the online stories. The first one is by our very own president-elect. He says, don't be too happy about MPP's defeat. Ghanaians are measuring us with the same yardstick. This is Mahama telling the NDC. So President-elect John Dramani Mahama has stated that Ghanaians will evaluate the National Democratic Congress using the same criteria they applied to assess the outgoing New Patriotic Party government. Now, he also advised NDC supporters to refrain from excessive celebrations over MPP's defeat. Speaking in a meeting with the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, he said, we should not be too happy about the defeat of the MPP because Ghanaians are measuring with the same yardstick. Now, Ghanaians have also held the NDC to a higher standard because we are a social democracy and they are a property-owning democracy.
Wow. President Mahama with some, backlashes there.
Backlashes indeed. And let me just respond to this. But before I go to this story, let me talk a little bit about the meeting he had with the Voice of America. He made, I think, two key things. I think Voice of America was asking him the issue of SHS cancellation, because one sister media house did interview with one of the key persons in NDC. And during that interview, the person was making reference to the old implementation of free SHS under John Dramani Mahama, where he gave free tuition to day students. So the person was actually citing that incident, and he was saying that that incident, if looked at, could be applied to the current free SHS policy and be looked at critically, rather than taking care of all Ghanaians. So people were like, hey, then they are going to cancel free SHS. But President Mahama made a very emphatic statement when he was having a meeting with the VOA that he's not going to cancel free SHS, and free SHS has come to stay. What he's going to do is that they are going to review it and make it more better. Yes, that is what he said. And I think Voice of America also asked him that how is he going to implement the 24-hour economy. In the interview we had played earlier, he told them that yes, 24-hour policy, it's all about making sure that job creation is available. And he said that so many countries are doing it, so it's not new to Ghana. And the only way they are going to do that is to give tax exemptions. So the tax waivers you're talking about is to give tax exemptions to the manufacturing companies or the very company that deals in, let's say, factories and all these kind of people. So when they give the tax exemptions to them, they end up employing more, and it increases their productivity. So they are going to put a lot of security measures in place where even at night people can still go to work, because we know currently even moving out of your own house even daytime is very risky. Like even what happened at Adabraka some time ago, daytime robbery. So he is saying that 24-hour economy is all about tax exemption and providing necessary security and lightening into the whole country, whereby people will be able to go to work like normal.
So there will be people that have the morning shift, afternoon shift, and then the night shift.
Exactly. So we are just hoping to see the legal framework and all the details to it, so that we would see how it will go. Speaking to the issue of GPCC and President Mahama meeting them, the statement he made that the stick used to what?
The
yardstick.
Ghanaians are measuring with the same yardstick.
Actually, he made it in tree. Now, he said that I had a video and I was watching this. I was like, so why did he make such a statement in the first place? You see, it's like people, I have come to understand President-elect from the point that he's trying to tell Ghanaians and politicians that as people have been able to kick out even members of parliament with thought they can't be kicked out. It's the same way that if NDC government comes to power and does not fulfill their promises, they'll be kicked out in the same manner. And if theirs will be worse than what we've seen.
You see, we were all in this country in 2016.
In 2016.
We all voted massively against the NDC and, you know, kicked them out. Now, sitting back and reflecting on what happened a few weeks ago, a few days, I'm like, what's happening? Because Ghanaians are growing. We are like, our minds are changing. Eventually, we are shifting from that, I know this person, I am a party member of this, a loyal party member, to development, to expectations. Have you met our expectations? Because elections, they are not just about winning.
Exactly.
Because winning there, we can all win. But
win.
it's about meeting expectations. If you don't, you'll be kicked out. That's what we've seen.
Exactly.
I also like the fact that Ghanaians have realized that loyalty is a two-way thing.
Yeah.
As much as you're loyal to Party A or Party B, your loyalty reflects in your vote, right?
Yeah.
Now, their loyalty to us or me being loyal to you, so, you know, reflecting it, when you come into power, what do you do for me? You come and make my life better or make my life worse and bake a cake and dance when I've said I don't want that. Things like that will also, you know, have an effect on me. And then I would also, because it's give and take. When you do, I also do. So if you do good for me, I will do good for you. And that's how it's been. And I like that Ghanaians are doing that.
So, Era, the president-elect knows the burden ahead of him. And he has started tackling the burden ahead of him one by one. And he said also at the same meeting that appointees, he said he has been giving messages. People want to get appointments and stuff. But he sent a strong warning to them that war betides you if you come to power and you don't do what Ghanaians want. You'll be kicked out. So I think that these measures that he's bringing up is going to make our political landscape very interesting. And if anybody comes to power and the person tends to look at his family, look at himself alone, and ends up not projecting the needs of Ghana and even projects their political party, trust me, Ghanaians will kick them.
And considering the fact that this government, after everything they've done, Ghanaians have woken up. So this new incoming government is going to be held to a higher standard because all the things that Ghanaians should have, you know, held the incumbent accountable for and they didn't, and it has gone against them. Now this incoming, you know, government is going to suffer the consequences of that.
Now I think all the NDC should be thinking of is how to meet Ghanaians their expectations. I think they should
solve the issues, the mess that has been created,
and also have some form of feedback mechanisms. Listen to the people. What are the people requesting for? After the elections, I checked online, and you know, some people will be congratulating this member of parliament for winning in this constituency, and they will say, "Please fix this road. Please do this, and the seat is yours forever." These are the petty things that should not be overlooked.
The Ghanaian populace also does not seem to realize that the MPs don't have developmental roles. That is the role of the DC, MC. Yes, so they have to. So I think there should be some sort of education on which roles the MPs play and then the DCs and things, because every day MP my road, but what about your district and municipal assembly?
It also boils down to the promises that these MPs make. If you know you are not in charge of developmental projects, when you come, tell the people what you want to do for them. Don't come and tell them, give them lies, and when you come into power, you know, we saw some members of parliament who wanted to be MPs, paying school fees, doing this, constructing roads, using their own money. So if you come, if you are voted for and you come into power,
you have to continue what you do. Because
wherever you got the money from, please continue.
Well, we have one last story, but I think it will go into our story for the main discussion, and that is about the 12 parliamentary seats facing the disputes, because we are going to be discussing post-election violence. So we will discuss that in the main discussion, and this brings us to the end of
touching on post-election violence. There is this video that is trending that I want us to have a look at, where a Catholic priest or something, a Catholic priest was attacked by some alleged members of the NPP or NDC. If we have a video, please, can we have a look at it?
Breaking news. Enkwanta South constituency. Oba be for machines ni bi ko. Enti a kire omo. Machines ni ni. Every before oba be time machine e ko. Enti machines ni ni ya chi machine no. That man you returning the back to assemble. When the man for take you over no. When the man for take you over no. They say machines are government there. I feel the moment before machines in somebody call. What do you mean? Huh? Why you sending the machine for? It's machine for you. It's machine for you. It's machine for you. It's the machine for you. It's machine for government. Why are you taking it? Why are you taking it? Why are you taking it? Who asked you to?
Okay, so as we've seen in the video, we'll be discussing this later in the show, which is the discussion on post-election violence. So we'll come back to this. But for now, the online and newspaper review has ended. And next is the lifestyle segment with Miriam Abnadidi and her guest. And he's a digital marketer, right? Exactly. So yes, they'll be talking about digital marketing and everything that has to do with that venture. Please do stay tuned.
and YouTube as well. And so you can get interactive with us via our comment section on Facebook and YouTube, and also with the numbers being displayed on your screen. Now, it is time for our lifestyle conversation here. I am Miriam Abena Adede. Now, as we all know, we are gearing up into, the festive season. We are already in the festive season, actually, and few days into the Christmas celebration. And it is very important that we pay attention to how social media can be used to, navigate our complexities, even when we are chilling, even when we are trying to connect out there, because social media plays a very pivotal role in shaping our experiences and interactions. And so today on the lifestyle segment, we are going to be discussing social media and the festive season, connecting creatively and also responsibly. With me, a digital marketing expert. He's in the person of Luis Junior Sa, and he is going to help us with the interaction here on the show. And just as I said earlier, you can send us your comments to our WhatsApp number, which has been displayed on the screen, and also via our streaming platform as well. Let's get straight into the conversation. Hello.
Hi.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Right. So how prepared are you for this year's Christmas? But first, did your party win?
I'm not a partisan person, so.
Are you sure?
I'm just a Ghanaian. I'm just a Ghanaian, a patriotic Ghanaian. So
Okay.
I don't really do politics, but anyone who wins, we just hope for the best for the country. Yes, aside that is it.
Okay. Now, we are exploring how social media can be used in a way that can benefit all of us. But before anything, how would you say social media has, over the years, especially during Christmas celebrations?
So, social media has really evolved a lot. I think with the current system we are in now, it is very crucial for any individual or organizations to be abreast with social media and the practices. So, from some time, social media has really evolved, especially with our festive season.
Yeah.
You see, a decade ago, Christmas or festive seasons used to be just an in-person family time.
Yeah.
Yes, that one you just family, you get some kokobi and
some fried
chicken and, yes,
and rice and stew. Yeah.
So it was just limited to just their phone calls and in-person giftings and festive cards. But the involvement of social has made it possible for us to connect outside, okay, to get updates on the happenings. So they just check your social media. You could know, this maybe December 21st or 25th, there's a party going on. See, that time we weren't getting that update. Now, through social media, we're able to get those updates up front.
For instance, I have, I think, 3 restaurants that I would like to visit during this Christmas, because, it's been a very tough year for me.
That's nice.
And so going out with family, friends, and even loved ones will be very exciting. And all these things are, kind courtesy, social media.
Yeah.
So I think just what you're saying, it has been helpful in our festive celebration.
Yeah,
but as a marketer, digital marketer, how do you think we can create content that, can be shared on social media during this festive season?
So, has been on its peak as I speak with you now. Especially most of us graduates, when we complete and we don't get anything to do, we just zoom into being content creators. So how we can use content creation through this festive season? One thing I can say is we can start these online challenges. You see, when you go to TikTok, these Christmas songs, our dancers, I don't want to mention names, but
I think you would have to give us one Christmas, song in a cappella. We don't want the easy one. We don't want Merry Christmas to you.
I will try as much as possible to maybe remember if I can't sing some Christmas song. But if you go to social media, TikTok, Instagram, you see that's where that's those social media reels, challenges happen. So people do create challenges, okay? We have AI generated apps or maybe customs you can use to create some content. And also you can also embark on some tutorials, okay? So you see Christmas, people prepare a lot of food, okay? So maybe you can spot kind of food, you can give recipe, these tutorials online where people can learn gift wrapping, those kind of things, yes. So I think through that you are creating an avenue for yourself because it won't end there, okay? After the season,
it can even grow into a business,
you understand, and
for you.
Social media really pays now. Social media is really paying. So I think if we create those content through this, you see, this is more of a family time. So people spend a lot more time on social media. Example, TikTok. TikTok is now everywhere. So spend a lot of time there. So if you use that medium to do, hello guys, today I want to teach you blah 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 blah, like it gets people involved and it helps.
Some people have also said when they start these content creations, creating a content, it doesn't really go viral and they are discouraged in a way.
So content creation is consistency. Okay, you don't just start. You do today, you pause, you do some other time. Try make sure what you are bringing out is relatable. Okay, so make sure what you use what is going on, like related topics. Okay, so those helps your content to trend. Okay, you can't just maybe start something people don't really know about. Okay, see, in my earlier submission I said TikTok dance challenges. I think recently 12 days those Christmas videos, carol songs. So people have created something out of it and using it as a challenge. Okay, so I think if you use that, like you get those ideas, and with the involvement of AI too, you can use ChatGPT to get ideas which are very relatable that can help your content trend. So you don't just create, you have to do a lot of research.
Okay. What about those that would always want to create, that perfect Christmas challenge? There are people who are very, perfectionists. They always want their things to. Do you have any advice for them, like what they should look out for? Because social media, everyone is on social media, and yours is not going to, really be the perfect one out there. And at the end of the day, they become discouraged. Yeah.
So what I can say is, you see, people show highlights, not real life on social media. They post their best moments. They don't post the behind the scenes struggles, family disagreements. You see, you might want to do something, your family, your dad won't agree with you. Okay, they don't post those things. So if you try to compare your scenes to someone's highlights, you feel discouraged. So I think you have to prioritize authenticity over perfection. Okay, make sure like you authenticate, like your happiness comes from within. Make sure what you are doing, like you feel happy within yourself, and don't look at what someone is doing. Okay, and when that happens, that's when you feeling some way comes inside.
You feel pressured.
Good. So you don't have to do that. So make sure you live within your means. Okay. Some people borrow clothes to go and chill. Some people follow friends. You understand? Maybe you're small, something that you are doing. That one you should have to make sure it's authenticated. Like you are fine. No one is looking at you to be perfect.
Right. On businesses as well. We're wrapping up short. Like tidbits we are giving to our viewers as to how to live during this festive season. But some people are into businesses already. How can they also leverage on social media to boost their businesses during this festive season?
So I like those upcoming businesses. Those out there, they are there. Okay. So see, as young people, as peers, we have to learn how to support our peers. Okay, you see, these Christmas seasons, even though they are small, some of our colleagues, some of our friends, they do Christmas promos and all. So we should try and use our platforms to promote them. Okay, don't leave it to them only. Try and use your platform, your Facebook, your WhatsApp status, even your TikTok. If you can use your TikTok or your Instagram, kindly use that to promote their product, and make sure you also participate in what they are doing to help support them. So that is the way we can use social media personally to support our small business, our friends doing those small businesses. Yeah.
But some people are not appreciative. You support them, and at the end of the day, when they blow, they don't even remember you again. And that is why some people do not want to support again.
Yeah, I understand. But I have this mantra: just do it. Okay. You see, you might not see the outcome now. Okay, but it will pay off sometimes. You don't know.
Okay.
So just support. The person is ungrateful. Fine, support.
Right.
Yeah.
We also know that social media came in to help bridge the gap that is between family members that are staying afar. And so via text messages, we can connect with them. But are there any special ways we can connect with our families out there using social media, aside, text messages?
Okay.
Which is one of them.
Aside text messages, you see, we have Instagram Live. People see Facebook as outmoded, but it has the highest numbers. Okay, but and then you can use Instagram Live to like do live, maybe during some gathering, or maybe your friend is in the US, the person can't come to Ghana. You do Instagram Live for the person to feel virtually, okay, what is happening around or in Ghana or around what you are doing.
So when we go out to the clubs and restaurants,
let's
take a live
Instagram video. So like share, like post, okay, like not, it shouldn't be that generic. It should be like very perfect, nice. Like it should show what is happening.
Okay.
Yes. So I think if that happens, the engagement and all, like it brings some kind of excitement.
I see. And what about those that are close to us, our loved ones? Is there a way we can balance social media with in-person relationships? Because we are saying we should use Instagram videos live, but what about those that are close?
Balancing social media in real life, especially within this. You see, this is I keep saying family time. So know what to do at each point of time. Okay, so make sure when you are with a gathering, okay, you can set a no phone time at that moment. Okay, so make sure between this space and this space, I'm not touching my phone. You can also turn off notifications to avoid distractions. Okay, so if you would want to update your people, it is not the time that you are having fun, especially maybe. I think most of us are victims of that. So maybe during gatherings and events, we tend to be on our phones scrolling more than we participating or enjoying what is happening. Okay, so we can take a video, short minutes of time, and maybe post it after the event is done or the gathering is done. Don't whilst the gathering is ongoing. So, and if you would want to use social media at that time, mindlessly. Okay. When I say mindless, make sure maybe you would want to connect with someone. Okay, someone would want to join. So just ask for permission. This person is here. You would want to join virtually. So what do you do? You can just set a live. You put the phone somewhere. The person can enjoy.
I see.
So you don't just be scrolling. You have to prioritize the actual feeling over the scrolling.
Yeah.
That will help. Yes.
And I also think we should incorporate more of these challenges with our family members during this festive season. And so the challenges you spoke about on TikTok and other things, we shouldn't only be the ones doing
it. You can include your family, your mom and dad. Yes.
Wow.
And even I've realized something on social media. If you do some things with your family, especially your dad or your mom, like it's more than you doing it yourself. With those challenges and strengths. Yeah.
So we should do more of that, right? Louise, your last words as a tell our viewers what they should do during this festive season that can bring them money, because I can hear my producer saying talk about money.
Oh, money.
Something that can bring them money during this festive season.
Okay, so I don't know, maybe you are involved in any small business. Okay, try and sell. You can use social media to sell, but there's a way you should go about that. Okay, you don't just post. You have to sell things that are related to your customers.
Yeah.
Okay, or your target audience. You don't just post things because you have it. Okay, you should know the time that you are in, that you get the sales and all. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Louise, for this time. Our lifestyle conversation here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. I had this discussion with Louise Junior Sir, a marketing director, and he is doing so well for himself. He's giving us some tidbits we can use during this festive season to live a way that will help all of us, benefits financially from our activities on social media, and that is the discussion we had today on the show. Up next is our sports segment.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday.
For today, fourth segment, can we start with our first birthday celebrant? Okay, happy birthday, big sis. Your niece and I wish be filled with unending joy and your year full of God's grace, favor, and blessings. This is from Emilia to her big sister. This is also from me, Eric Odame, to Vida, wishing her a happy birthday. May all her dreams come true. This is to Vida from Eric Odame. Okay, so we have this, just sister, okay, Ama Abuaje. This is from your boyfriend, Pakwesi PK, okay. Happy birthday to my beautiful woman, Justasta Ama Abuaje. On this special day, I want you to know how incredibly grateful I am to have you in my life. You bring so much joy and love into my world, and I can't wait to spend forever with you. May this year with all the happiness you deserve, and enjoy every moment of your day. I love you, baby. Aww. This is from D Money to Pat. Happy birthday to my wonderful Pat. Your smile brings joy to my life, and I'm grateful for every moment we share. Wishing you a year filled with love and happiness. Okay, happy birthday to you, twins. God bless your new year with massive grace, long life, and good health. From your friend, Na Amankwa Evelyn. Okay. Thank you very much for bringing in your birthday messages to us today. And as we joined the celebration, we hope that you're very incredible and amazing, just as you are. Now, let's move straight into some sports news for today. morning show. Now let's do some sports. Something exciting is happening with the 26 WAFCON qualifiers as the Black Queens of Ghana are set to face either Rwanda or Egypt in the qualifiers for the 2020 African Cup of Nations. Under the leadership of Coach Nora Haptel, the team is determined to achieve back-to-back qualifications, having already secured a place in next year's tournament. A total of 38 will compete with 12 sports in the final tournament, which will take place in Morocco, marking the third consecutive time the nation hosts this prestigious event. Notably, Ghana, along with South Africa, Zambia, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, and Cameroon, is exempt from the first round due to their high FIFA rankings. With a bye in the first round, Ghana will kick off their campaign in the second round against the match between Rwanda and Egypt. And there you have it, the 2026 WAFCON qualifiers. Black Queens face against Rwanda or Egypt. Now, away from that, Dalali Anku Adiama, the managing director of Hearts of Oak, has made a strong call for the Black Stars technical team to keep a close eye on defender Kelvin Ibe. The 23-year-old has been making waves with his impressive performances, having played consistently for the Phobians in the ongoing campaign, featuring in 12 matches out of 13. Although he challenges in a recent match against rival Asante Kotoko, where an error contributed to a narrow defeat, Anku Adiama still believes in Asibe's potential. Speaking after the match, he described Asibe as an amazing player and recommended him for a spot on the national team, highlighting his talent and the impact he could have on the Black Stars. And that is we are seeing on our screen right now. Still in Ghana, Kwame Opoku is back with Asante Kotoko. He signed a half-year deal to rejoin the Porcupine Warriors after playing in North Africa. The 27-year-old striker was officially unveiled to the fans before the super clash against Hearts of Oak. Opoku's return is expected to strengthen the team's attack, especially after their recent victory over Hearts of Oak. With his experience and past success at the club, scoring 6 goals and providing 3 assists in 16 matches, Opoku is set to make a significant impact for Asante Kotoko. And we are looking forward to see Opoku's performance in the Asante Kotoko. Now, away from Ghana, Nigeria and Atalanta BC attacker Ademola Lookman has been crowned the African Footballer of the Year at the just ended 2024 CAF Award ceremony in Marrakesh, Morocco. He scored 17 goals and contributed 10 assists in 45 games across all competitions for Atalanta in the 2024 season. Senegal and AS Monaco wonder kid Lamine Camara was adjudged the best young player, while Morocco's Doha El Madani won a similar award in the women's category. In the women's category, Zambia's Barbara Banda won the women's prize after firing the Orlando Pride to the NWSL Championship, scoring the winner in the final against Washington Spirit, and also helping the Zambian national to achieve a historic feat last year. And that is the 2024 CAF Awards. Some list of winners making waves over there. Now, in our last story, Barcelona has confirmed that Lamine Yamal suffered an ankle injury during their surprising defeat to Leganés in La Liga. The young talent appeared to be a discomfort in the first half and indicated he wanted to come off, but he ended up playing 75 minutes. Following the match, Hansi Flick's assistant, Marcus Sorg, mentioned that Yamal would undergo tests, and now Barca has announced he's being ruled out for several weeks. This is a huge setback for the team, as he will miss the upcoming clash against Atletico Madrid, which is crucial since both teams are level on points. Yamal is also likely to miss the Copa del Rey match against Barbastro in January and possibly the Spanish Super Cup as well. And that is some sad news over there. These are some stories making headlines in the world of sports today. As I sat in for Nanaya Asari, a sports journalist. Now, this is all we have for you on the sports. My name is Miriam Abna Adede. Now, up next is the main business segment. Sorry, please stay with us.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy. beyond the policy.
Good morning and welcome to the Business Update segment. I am Clement Yabankwe. In today's story, beginning with, the International Monetary Fund has highlighted the energy sector as a significant source of fiscal risk in its third review of the Economic Credit Facility Program. The IMF reports that as of December 2023, the sector's legacy debt stood at an estimated 2.1 billion United States dollars, equivalent to 2.8% of the country's gross domestic product. This debt includes obligations from independent power producers and private fuel suppliers, as outlined in the Debt Sustainable Analysis. The IMF also noted that the sector consistently faces a shortfall as it fails to generate enough revenue each year to cover the cost of energy generation and distribution, leading to an ongoing deficit. Still on International Monetary Fund, IMF has noted that despite an improved financial position in 2023, Ghana Cocoa Board faces significant challenges in the 2023-2024 financial year. Weak cocoa production has hindered Cocoa Board stability to capitalize on record-high international cocoa prices, as some forward sales contract prices had to be rolled next season.
To address these challenges, Cocoa Board increased the 2024-2025 farm gate price by 50% to reflect high global prices and deter smuggling and illegal mining on cocoa farmlands. It also adopted a new financing model, replacing syndicated international loans with local bank and licensed buyer financing. The government published a turnaround strategy in October 2024, aiming to restore Cocoa Board's financial sustainability through cost rationalization, reduced quasi-fiscal activities, and maintaining producer prices at 60 to 70% of international levels. The Ministry of Finance's Cocoa Desk continues to oversee to 70% of international levels. The Ministry of Finance's Cocoa Desk.
In our last story, a week after President Mahama's election win, the government saw a 19.75% oversubscription of Treasury bills. Bank of Ghana reported an increase in demand for these short-term securities, leading to 8.2 billion Ghana cedis raised from sales, which all bills were accepted. The 91-day bill secured over 6.74 billion Ghana cedis, making up 82.1% of the total bids. The 182-day bill received 951.67 million Ghana cedis, while the 364-day bill brought in 508.15 million Ghana cedis. Interest rates approached 30%, with the yield on the 91-day bill increasing by 17 basis points to 27.77%. The 82-day bill's yield rose to 28.4%, and the 364-day bill increased by 3 basis points to 29.94%. That's all we have for you on Business Update segment. I am Clement Yabankwe. Do enjoy the rest of the show.
Clog TV, beyond the policy.
And you're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we're about to have our main discussion. Don't forget, we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, so you can join us from the comfort of your phones, and you can join in the conversation there. Send your comments and opinions to our live stream, or you can send them to our WhatsApp number displayed on your screen. Along the line, the phone lines will be open for you to also call and then, of course, make your submissions. Now, the main discussion is going to be in, so to say, two parts, where the first part is going to be with my co-host, where we are discussing the post-election security, and then along the line, after the break, we will be speaking with a security analyst, a renowned one, of course, and he is of Dr. Adam Bonar. And he is a security and safety expert or analyst with more than 20 years experience in counterterrorism, defense and intelligence, international relations. And he's also an expert in designing and implementing security and safety solutions for private customers as well as the government domestically and across the world. So yes, when we're about to have our interaction with him, I may go a little into detail about his profile, and then he will also be giving us some exposition into security relating to, you know, our elections and everything around that. So for now, I have my co-hosts with me as usual, Clement and Miriam. Hello again.
Hello.
Yeah, so earlier in the show, we were about to discuss, or we said we postponed the discussion of one of the topics that we're going to talk about in the online news. That's the 12 constituency. So let me just get that story quickly, talk about it. So here are 12 parliamentary seats facing disputes. So the December 7 general election, which resulted in John Dramani Mahama's triumphant return to presidency, saw him garner 56.55% of the valid votes, totaling 6,328,397 votes, and his significant victory sparked a mix of excitement and controversy throughout Ghana. And Mahama's main rival, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia of the New Patriotic Party, received 4,657,304 votes. However, uncertainty persists in constituencies as official results are still pending. Now, 12 constituencies are currently in the dispute with the National Democratic Congress and the NPP, which is the New Patriotic Party, and then also, of course, with the Electoral Commission citing procedural irregularities and disagreements in the reasons for the delays. Now, these disputes arose from issues such as miscounting, irregularities, in coalition and conflicts at coalition centers, which must be resolved before the final decisions can be made. My lady and my gentleman, post-election security, violence, threats to our democracy. What are your takes, please?
Interesting day.
You were going to tell us about the video. We had the video we put up earlier. If we can have that back, I think it's also part of the post video of, was it the priest being assaulted? Yes.
We could have that video so that. But I mean, in that video, we saw a young man, light skinned. I think there were two.
Yeah.
And they were attacked by some members of some members of the NDC. And according to them, after the elections, just like what we are seeing, had carried some of the electoral machines and they were taking them away. And they were manhandled in this way. My question or concern has to do with the fact that how are these people, or on what criteria are these people using to, accuse people of, theft or destroying electoral processes or disrupting electoral proceedings? What grounds do you have, or who has even given you that power to manhandle people that you think are, taking away electoral equipment or tools. What power do you have? Which is really sending a bad name for the incoming government, which is the NDC. Because, I mean, we all know what has been happening so far. Currently, at the Tesano police station, we are still having some collation of figures there as well. And we saw what happened in Boko. We saw what happened in Obuasi, electoral.
The
Domikwabenya. There were incidents in Tema Central where people were attacking the EC officials and other party agents, all in the name of they don't want their seats to be taken away from them, which is the NDC. On what grounds are these people, making this move? That is my concern, because if they haven't been given that power to do these things, I don't think anyone can just get up to go and attack, because looking at these people, they looked, well, for me, they look innocent.
And for the fact that they even said it's a priest, the question, what business does a priest even have with these electoral violence and even the property? Because in the video, he was being accused of taking something that belonged to was it the party agents or the coalition center or something of the sort?
That's the municipal assembly. But we'll go into that area. Let me just start with this. This has been an issue that has been occurring. It's not new in our electoral process, or it's not new in democracy or the Fourth Republic. In 2016, we heard of the issue of the Delta Force. When NPP won power, they had a group, they were trying to occupy some municipal assemblies and some organizations. Even threaten those in leadership to just vacate or to leave office because their party has come to power. And we are seeing the same thing happening in 2024. One thing I would always say that we use the right thing to correct the wrong one. So if 2016 the NPP had this Delta Force group which were going to offices, into various places to sack NDC leaders or whatsoever, that doesn't mean that any winning power in 2024 is supposed to turn the same line and go the same way. That is one angle which we should in Ghana or in our democratic system. In the aspect of where people electoral violence issue to, it's something that we shouldn't entertain. As I must say, we had a very peaceful election. Less than 24 hours, we got to know who the president actually is, or who the president was. But the issue, or what we see in this post-election violence, is in relation to the parliamentary seat, of which we never expect something like that. We were thinking that issues like this would surround, but not the parliamentary. But the president, the major one, was so peaceful. So the question is, why now the parliamentary? Is it that, does it bear the issue of this happenings in parliament, in the 8th parliament of the majority and minority? Is it the basis of such issue happening? If that is the basis, then parliament needs to resolve all issues they are supposed to have, so that moving forward we don't see instances like this happening. Because your colleague that you're having this at the, for example, Domikwabenya constituency, your colleague that you are beating, your colleague that you are shooting, you are killing, do you even think to realize that tomorrow that same person could have been of help to you? As you kill the person today, will you meet the person tomorrow? So there's an issue that we should take away partisan relation from it. Let's put away, I am an NDC, I'm an MPP, or I'm CPP. But let's speak to the matter that it is wrong and we shouldn't entertain it. So as you said, this 12th constituency you are talking about, that currently EC says he has no results of such constituencies. We have the Okankwe Central, the Ablekuma North, we have the Suhum, we have the Akwetia, we have the Fanti Akwa North, we have the Tema Central, we have Ahafo Ano South, Ahafo Ano West, North, we have the Obuasi East, in Sawom, Adrejiri, and we have the Techiman South. So these are the 12 constituencies that currently there are issues surrounding it.
Yeah, we have a video of the Domikwabenya incident there.
The process, but touching on the electoral, integrity or the integrity of the Electoral Commission. I think, elections are naturally supposed to be peaceful. Just as Clement said, the presidency was very peaceful. Less than 24 hours, one person had, conceded defeat, which was very, very peaceful. But I mean, issues of irregularities and miscounting are bound to. What is the Electoral Commission doing about this moving forward?
Then also, is it really only the Electoral Commission
role to play?
Well, it is not only the Electoral Commission's role, but they have that sole mandate to ensure that everything goes well. That is why before the election, they are taking through processes of training. They have officials that are trained, and also the political parties also train their members as well.
Yes, because I think it's the Dome Kobenya where the MPP's polling agents did not have their pink sheets for the coalition, for them to tally it all to know that, okay, this information is correct. So in a situation like that, what else can the EC do? Because maybe NDC, all the other parties have provided theirs, but then MPP is missing their pink sheet. And then I think there was even a story about the fact that I think, you see, when you write the carbon copy, the copy had pen ink written, which is not supposed to happen. So in situations like this, what then can the EC do?
So Era, let's just try to look at something here. One, I would say that EC could have resolved this issue way ahead, even before having this electoral violence in this very constituencies. Because less than 24 hours, NPP strong room were able to collate their results to know who is winning and who is losing. Before NPP strong room would know that Mia is down, they've gotten all the results, at least, if not all, 90% from all the polling stations and all the constituencies. So that was even less than 24 hours. As at 9 a.m. on Sunday, they've gotten all these results. The same applies to NDC. So the question is, how come these political parties, as at 9 a.m. on Sunday, have been able to collect the results and have their results intact, and EC as at 9 a.m. on Sunday, we're not having their results? These are the questions that we need to ask. These are the issues, because if by 9 a.m. on Sunday, all these people have their results, like this electoral violence we are saying, it won't happen. The reason why all these things happen is because some of the constituency coalition need to enter Monday. Domingo Abenya, for example, it needs to enter into Sunday. After Sunday, it's entering to Sunday afternoon and also evening. Some of them have to move way back to Monday and even Tuesday. So you see, members or citizens can't take it anymore because they don't understand why a political party has even been able to know that I'm winning, I'm not winning. And how much more easy, not knowing that this party has won this constituency election, this party has lost this constituency election. And way back, the issue I'm talking about, the pink sheets not being available. According to electoral process, after election, the presiding officer at a polling station, you are supposed to paste a pink sheet of the results at that very polling station, so that all the citizens around, if they are passing by, they'll be able to see what really happened, who had A, who had B, who had C. The question is, this constituency that we have issues there, were the results pasted at the various polling stations? If they were pasted, if a party agent should come and tell you that he's not having a pink sheet, it's easily to quickly refer to the polling station. You can call whoever is there, can take a screenshot of it, send it to you as a proof, as evidence. But why are we having this issue? It means that even the electoral process with EC, sorry to say, some of the officers didn't follow the right procedures.
But because I think if there was an issue with the fact that the figures were not even to start with.
So I think
how then?
So I want to arrive at that point. So if the EC had followed the right procedures, so as you said, if there's discrepancies in figures, why don't you quickly refer to the polling station what you pasted there? As EC, because that place nobody will go use pen or any other thing to just mark or change it. Because here's the issue that even EC in some of the constituencies, they say they don't have their pink sheet, and they're just relying on the political party's pink sheet. So how then do you authenticate the figures that EC is having? All these are concerned that result in this violence we are seeing, and notwithstanding, the electoral roll give access to only 2 party agents to every collation center. So why were we having of party agents or number of people at the various collation centers.
That is what I wanted to talk about.
Yes, it's because of the heated tension, or people were thinking that EC is delaying in announcing, EC is delaying declaring. People can't now stay behind, but have to rush in. But notwithstanding, nobody has the access to enter the collation center if you don't have accreditation. So all these things actually were supposed to be by the Electoral Commission. And I have a sentiment, or I have a personal issue. For example, now we know EC came out with a press release, or a live press conference. That was, I think, Friday or Saturday, one of them, declaring about 4 constituency results illegal because they didn't follow the right procedure for electoral process. So such results are declared illegal. For example, Dome Kwabenya, Ablekuma North, Tema Central, and Okankwe Central. These 4 constituencies are declared illegal. So the basis is, why is it illegal? Is it because they didn't have electoral process? And who is to ensure that the right electoral process is followed? Is it the duty of the citizens? Is it the duty of the voters? No, that's not our duty. The duty, or whoever is supposed to ensure that the right procedure is followed, is the task force they are there, the electoral officials are there. So this is their duty. So if one way or the other, the citizens are mounting so much pressure on you to an extent, continue whatever you are doing, then you stop the process. You have the power to stop. You stop the process. And you report to any other authority you're supposed to report to. But here's the case that you've gone through the process, you've declared, and after declaration, you are saying that that very process is illegal. It's bear the question that what is really happening. That is because now the other party won't agree to the point that you are trying to take away the seats I have won and all this kind of thing. If you're not careful and this issue is not handled well, there's going to be a lot of chaotic scene if it's not handled well. Brought out a statement that EC should have an IPAC meeting to address this issue. I think that was a right call. NDC also raised a concern that they should have an IPAC meeting to address this issue. That was a right call. But EC didn't. I don't know why they choose to do that. But EC just came to conference and realized that this press conference, the other side won't feel happy with it. Yes, I know you are not there to do any bid for any other political, but in everything you do, you are a referee. So make sure that each party is okay with whatever you are doing. So I believe that this issue that we have, these 12 constituencies, the results not in, of which, but now they've told us that they've accepted that of Suhum, they've accepted that of Akwetia, they've accepted that of Fantiakwa because of the recollation at the Tesano police station. But I think I was watching, NDC also had a press conference. For them, they are not going to accept any result from recollation. And on the 7th of January, their candidates that were declared at the various will be sworn in as members of parliament. So you see the kind of issue that has created in the atmosphere. Because indirectly, you are trying to create something, I say something that does not exist is trying to be created. So, and if not care is not taken, it's going to result in a electoral violence.
Yes, so in a situation like this, would it not be better to quickly print out new ballot papers for another election where now the previous voting and everything will just be discarded, maybe even burned, set on fire, and then they vote before the January 7, so that they'll be sworn in.
Is laudable, but it is not as easy as you think.
I mean, they were able to do that for the special voting. How difficult is that for most of
what you are saying is very laudable. But you see, before such process would go on, unless one of the candidates or party has gone to court and court has looked through and now court orders EC to do rerun or they should conduct the election again. And I think that political parties, for them to, especially where result has already been declared, just quickly go to court.
You see,
maybe they will not accept, yes, but court and let the court look into, because you have, I think, 21 days or 20 days before swearing in. If you don't do that and after the swearing in, you can't go to court again. So quickly go to court, put in all your, or whatever your grievances, table it to the table, let the lawyers or the judge look into it. And if fair enough, if it's rerun of the election, then we do it so that we save the peace we have.
But people are also of the view that the justice, there's no justice in this country, especially if it's going against the incumbent government. You would definitely find a judge, say that, no, what your case is not right because they are in favor of the incumbent government. That is, some of the issues that we've been experiencing in this country. And that is why some people take up actions and then they take decisions to attack people on issues like this. But my concern also has to do with the political parties involved in this. The Electoral Commission is doing to ensure that there is peace and transparency in this election. But I don't know if the political parties are being over-vigilant or they are being very careful to ensure that their seats are not taken, because I don't know where these arrogancy, agitation, started from. Because
I don't even think it's even being careful. It's the opposite.
2020, when the NDC supposedly won the election and they took it to court, back and forth, everything, the issue delayed and it was still not in favor of the NDC. Yeah. I think some kind of, vigilancy was incited in the members of the NDC, and that is why they are acting the way they are acting, because most of the videos and post-election violence we've been seeing are alleged to be NDC members who do not want the NPP to take their seats. Because I know of an MP in Ayenswano constituency who was declared, he's an NDC, was declared winner, yet he's not the winner. So you see, these are some of the controversies that are rising up.
If the fact that they are saying that it could be NDC people who don't want the MPP to take whatever has been declared, have we also thought about the other side of it, that now they call it a super majority now, and so the MPP people are also trying their best to secure whatever is left. Can we also even look at that? Let's be objective.
But even if they add the 12
but you see, it's more like, okay, so for lack of a better term, or let me just use an analogy. The majority of people have taken most of the food. Now what's left? The leftover. If you don't do some IRED or some Takashi, even that one that's left, let's say there's 12 constituencies, even that these ones that are left, you are not going to get a lot of it from the way even the elections have gone. So why not do our best?
But in so doing, you are disrupting the peace in this country, and you are also delaying that legislative procedures, because in 7 January they are going to be sworn in. But issues are not settled, it might delay the
but if you have looked at Ghana's history, partisan politics has always disregarded the peace and the rest. If not, we wouldn't have had an issue where an arm of government goes to consult with a different arm of government to even deal with their issues, where now we were at an impasse at a point.
It was a peaceful consultation,
but even that it's delayed. Did it not delay the procedures?
That is one thing we want to stop in this current Ghana. Yes. We don't want a situation that partisan politics will now distract Ghana like what it has done to us some years ago. We want that thing to stop. So how does this thing stop? Let's build a consensus.
Yes, seriously.
Let's build a consensus. This is an issue we have now, 12 constituencies. And you see, the interesting part is, if EC does not gazette the name of the member of parliament elect to the clerk of parliament, then the clerk of parliament won't have names for these very constituencies.
Okay.
So now, if EC is saying that this very constituencies, they don't recognize their results, meaning that in their book they've not gazetted them as members of parliament.
So
and since you've not gazetted as member of parliament, it means that seat is vacant.
Yeah.
So on the 7th of January, it will be very hard for someone to come out with a document that these are the authentic members of parliament elect. Is it how the issue is going to be?
So my issue is with the EC. If you are saying that the delay in collating of these results is as a result of the disruptions from the political parties or members of the political parties, then what are they doing to tackle that issue? Is it the fact that we don't have enough polling stations, or some polling stations are concentrated, that we have a huge number of people that we have to count their ballot papers, that delays the process? Because finished their collation, I think 5:36 they were done, and
Exactly.
you know the winner was declared. And so why is it that
maybe this, as you said, the issue actually is not even polling station results. It's about the constituency coalition centers. And when you go to the electoral process, or they will tell you that when results are being declared, there's nothing like recount.
Okay.
When results are declared at the constituency level, there's nothing like recount. Recounts can only be done after or before declaration. So if anybody or if a returning officer who has the power declares ABC as the winner, if you have any issue, the only place to go is to the court.
So why are we having issues like this?
So we hope the EC handle this issue with so much care. With so much care.
We are, like Clement said, we are hoping the EC handles this issue. It's time for a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll be talking with Dr. Adam Bona. He's our security analyst, shedding more light on the post-election violence and how to navigate it. We'll be right back. And you're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we're having our main discussion. Don't forget, we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So you can join us in the live stream there, send your comments and opinions in there, and I will read them out loud. Or you can send your comments and opinions and, of course, your suggestions to our WhatsApp number displayed on your screen. So earlier, we were talking about post-election violence and security in the country, and I was doing this with my co-hosts in the persons of Miss Miriam Abnadidi and Mr. Clement Yabankwe. And we also have our analyst from Poll Watch joining us in the person of Mr. Randolph Ifrifa Owari. Yes, you're welcome, Randolph.
Thank you.
Yes.
And good morning to you and your viewers.
Good morning to you too. So we were talking about the delays in the coalition centers, and they're talking about the 12 constituencies that have not had their results, announced, and the problems that they were facing, some issues about the pink sheets. And then I think you even mentioned that the EC can actually even decide to stop until things subside. But then, considering how we've had issues with supporters coming to put so much pressure on the coalition centers, sort of even locking them in there because there's nowhere to come out until they declare the results, how then would the EC be able to navigate such issues? And I think, when did we even talk about the fact that the police were also not armed with, ammunition? And in a situation like that, how can they then handle enforcing the security and then, calming the people down?
So, I think we are looking at post-elections happening. So, after the elections, after 7 December, these are the issues happening out there. And we need to actually solve it as soon as possible. So how can EC do it without creating more issues or more things? One of the best ways is EC could have resolved all these things without making the supporters of this both party A, party B come out in their numbers, is to just organize an IPAC meeting. That would have been the best place, because IPAC meetings have been the way forward, even prior to these elections. All issues pertaining to registration, pertaining to ballot printing, pertaining to the issue of voter region, their issue, Western region, issue where they are supposed to vote, do special voting on the 5th. They all did all these things at the IPAC meeting. So what is now preventing EC to go back to the IPAC meeting to resolve this issue? If that decision or this issue we are having among these 12 constituencies had been addressed during or called an emergency IPAC meeting and it has been addressed, Party A, or let's say any people would have called their supporters, their parliamentary candidates, their constituency executive to order for them to exercise patience, because there is a procedure for all this issue. The same way NDC would have done, call their supporters, their constituency executives and parliamentary candidates into order for this issue to be resolved. But EC didn't do that, and now has come out with this press statement that they are declaring this for constituencies results illegal. What happens? You make one political party looks okay. The other party would feel very bad, thinking that you are doing something to take away what belongs to them. So indirectly, they will try to also tell their supporters to come out in their numbers. Yesterday, on Sunday, the Ablekumanot MP-elect, who was declared, before currently we have illegal issues surrounding it, she went to the Methodist Church and did a Thanksgiving service. And in the church, she said that she is the elect and nothing can change that. Not even what EC is yet to do. So you see the issue you are talking about. This issue could have been resolved in a very nice and a very wonderful way.
Right. Dr. Adam Bona on the line, and yes, let me just read a brief part of his profile. Dr. Adam Bona is a security and safety expert or analyst with more than 20 years of experience in counterterrorism, defense, and intelligence, and he's also an international relations expert, designing and implementing security and safety solutions for private customers as well as the government domestically and across the world. He is the Chief Executive Officer of the CARS Group of Companies, which is made up of Security Warehouse Limited, Supreme Security Limited, Solagen Ghana Limited, Global Trackers and Car Alarms Limited, and CARS Multimedia Limited. He is also the Executive President of the Institute of Security Safety Policy Research, which is ISSAPR. Hello, good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Could you reduce the volume on your set, please?
My volume is high. I think your volume seems to be. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, my volume is high, so I can hear you. I can hear.
Okay, are you by any chance close to your TV, please?
No, what I'm saying is that I'm actually shouting. You need to increase your volume where you are.
Okay.
Mine is clearer.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so what is your assessment of the security issues relating to our post-election violence in this year's 2024 general elections?
Well, my assessment is that generally it hasn't been very bad. We cannot use probably, we didn't have widespread violence. We have 16 regions. Out of the 16 regions, we have 76 constituencies and several other districts also within.
Yeah.
We had issues relating to pre-election violence and then election violence and post-election violence in some areas. And these areas are documented. In fact, before the elections, myself and my team, we went around investigating some of the flashpoints. And some of these areas that today have had challenges are areas that we don't areas that we should be expecting election-related violence. So as far as I'm concerned, these I think that were expected, but mine is I am comforted by the way the police deals with them. I haven't seen all our brutality against those who are not happy.
Could you hold on, please? We're having a slight issue with our sound.
Okay, so you
Hello,
might
Doc.
have to call me on another number. Ask your to call me back and I will give him my other number. Maybe that might be a bit clearer if you cannot hear me on this one.
Yes, it's much better. I think it was a slight issue we had here.
Okay, so we can go ahead. So
yes,
basically,
please.
I think that it's unfortunate what we are seeing, the post-elections violence. I think the EC has contributed largely to the post-election violence we are seeing.
Okay.
The EC could have handled it better. You can see where the EC will do the minister says we didn't declare. Once you do that, and you are not following due process in doing what you are doing, then you are going to people who are aggrieved and taking the laws into their own hands, which I condemn. But unfortunately, the EC doesn't seem to understand that their role in the way they manage the post-election activities will lead us into more chaos. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, we have had issues in some locations. I won't say it's widespread. At the moment, it looks like the issues are more centered in Accra. Every issue in Accra, I'm told that a facility holding some ballot boxes has been burnt down. I think that EC could have just said, those who are not happy should go to court. Once you ask people to go to court, the chances are that you probably want to play it a bit fair. But when you say, no, we want to use your own arrogated authority, then people will say you want to cheat the system, and back and forth, some of the political parties has, made other people think the EC is out there to cheat. I think the EC should have been clear. He said, you know, once we have done a declaration, if you don't understand or you think you are not happy, go to court. I have heard in some quarters the EC saying that some officers of DS were put under duress. And you see, anybody who understands the law, like I do, will tell you that an ordinary person will not be able to determine what duress is. Something that you understand, you need a court of competent jurisdiction to define what duress is, even though it's there. And so you need to come and argue your case in court to say that what happened, is our put under duress. But if the EC wants to now take the powers of our High Court to say that, you know what, parliamentary elections were done under what authority, under which law is the EC defining duress? So I think that anyone who says I was put under duress, go to court. I think that is what the EC should have done to spare us this back and forth and the tension and the burning of ties, in the middle of roads and then touching buildings. It's quite unfortunate. I think EC should step up and ensure that these things are done well. And the parliamentary candidates themselves and also the political parties must have a conversation with their supporters to call them whilst we have a conversation behind the scene to deal with these matters.
Very much. I want to read a few comments and then my co-host also have some questions for you. So this one says, the MPs who are not happy, this is from TA, the MPs who are not happy, court, period. Rose Entertainment says, good morning, Clock TV. And then this one says, nice submission from my brother Clement Quay. I want to add that is the 12 that should go rerun. It's as simple as ABC. Thank you, Dennis Ajiman. So, yes, I think Raindolph and Miriam had some questions for Doc, if you can. So, or Clement rather, yes.
Yeah, hello, Doc.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, Doc, I think this issue is something that, as you said, EC could have done better. But the question is, what should EC do now?
I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, so Doc, we want to know that what should EC do now? Yes, EC, the Electoral Commission.
The Electoral Commission, as it is now, seems heavily compromised. Because I have seen in certain quarters where carbon sheets are now being entered on the carbon sheet using ink. You and I know, we are literate enough to know when you say carbon means it's not original.
Yeah.
It means you wrote and then, something you wrote and something transferred onto something. But now, you take a carbon sheet, and what you have done is to now enter the carbon sheet using your own pen and handwriting. Once you do that, you have compromised everything that was done, originally. And so you cannot come and saying that what you are bringing should be the case. As far as I'm concerned, I think the EC as it is today largely has been compromised. And I would say calmness. The Peace Council is not speaking. The Peace Council during the elections and told them that you just don't bring people to a round table to sign a peace pact when you are not ready yourself to ensure that the right things are done. Because if you have a security level commission, that the people are going to declare commission is national because they will tell you that we are not in charge of security. How can everyone to watch how do you call that there is violence? Then we are told that, you know what, our football authorities say we are not in charge of security. What do you mean you are not in charge of security? Security is there to help you, but you are supposed to ensure that the security you have got is adequate. You do your things to avoid the clash. But that is what EC is not doing and not doing right. So as far as I'm concerned, I think the EC should ask the areas where declarations have been that there has to be recollation. They should ask those who are disagreeing to go to court.
Okay.
if you disagree, they've already done declarations. You cannot say those declarations are not legitimate. It doesn't lie in their mouth. It's not legitimate. If you lack the capacity to say that, they should ask anybody who disagrees. Once their official has done a declaration, anybody who disagrees, go to court, let the court determine it. Go with the legislature. Everybody should go to court. So that once the determination is done, we all can like it or not, a determination is done. You appeal. If we cannot approve it and reprove it, and let us, I think the tension, we want to go into Christmas, with peace of mind. In any case, I think Ghanaians don't want to be disturbed. I must be honest with you. No.
Okay, Doug. Thank you very much. Before Renoff comes in. Doug, aside this electoral issues, we also have a situation where municipal assemblies and taking care of some assets of the state, and people also claiming ownership.
I can hardly.
Hello, Doug. Please, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So, Doug, aside the issue of these 12 constituencies, we have who are going into municipal assembly. Charge of some of the assets that belong to the state, and also some even municipality heads are alleged that they are taking some of the assets also to their private places. In situations like this, from your point of view, what should we do as a Ghanaian or as a state so that moving forward we will not have issues like this happening after every 4 years or every 8 years of general election?
I just think that let's stop. I'm not sure why state officials like NCUs will be attempting resources that belongs to the assembly to the people of Ghana. So I think this election and the new elected administration will have to put in policies to ensure that the elections that we have, will begin to work instead of waiting for after the election. Transition team would work transparently to say this is here. Because at the moment you can see some fertilizers, rice, and cooking oils that belong to the people. And then one of them, I think in the Volta region, actually said the fertilizer or the rice belongs to the wife. And then they kept the rice in the government warehouse. I mean, no one will take that. So you see, it's just pure stealing. And so as far as I'm concerned, the citizens should stand their ground and ensure that when you see it, don't burn the place down, but come and take those items as exhibits. So that at the end of the day, those who want to steal them will not be able to steal them. But I think we need to put in enough measures to prevent these types of criminality being perpetrated, if you ask me.
Okay, Doc. So I think I would push it back to Yara. Citizens to engage in citizen arrest, because I saw went all to the municipal assembly was involved in this act.
Can you ask your question again?
Is it right for citizens to actually embark on citizen arrest?
Oh yeah, I mean, citizen arrest is enshrined in the Constitution.
Okay,
it's enshrined in the criminal offences is there. So, but there are rules governing citizens arrest by law. If you arrest the person, the law says as soon as possible, the person in the exhibit you have found nearest police station for the entrance to be taken, and then you hand the person over to the police, and also the exhibits handed over. The law does not mandate us to beat up people we suspect, but allows us to arrest them and take them to arrest that persons and detain them. That would amount to unlawful detention, and for unlawfully detention arrest is important. You can go on and arrest anyone who is committing a crime, against the state, against, committing a crime, including what you are mentioning. So yes, I think citizens should do that, but let's not take the laws into our own hands. You don't use one wrong, you don't use a wrong in correcting a wrong. And so let's always stand on the side of truth, on the side of positive, not use negative to deal with an issue that is already negative in your mind.
Okay, very well.
Doc, with the issue of the crowd control, especially at the coalition centers, what role can the EC play, and what role should the police also play, probably in streamlining the number of foot soldiers that come there to ensure the transparency and accountability and all those big words that they used to correlated are now accurate for everybody?
Well, I think that the EC would have to improve upon its ability to do some arithmetic.
Okay.
You can see that EC is not, I'm not sure that we didn't do arithmetic in school, because they do the calculations right from the word, the transfer of voters, with transfer of, with registration of those who have to re-register and all that. They put their figures together, and the figures were not having calculators in our hand by way of our mobile phones. I don't understand how a whole EC will tell us that they used Cora Draw in trying to, extract or extrapolate or do some simple arithmetic. It doesn't add up. So that EC should build their capacity. EC has been running elections for years, so they should build their capacity and ensure that these are the things that, disagree with them. So they should get it right. So,
party agents and them also maybe calling their, for the lack of a better word, hooligans or foot soldiers to join them at coalition centers to be able to sort of intimidate them. What can the police do about a situation like that?
No, I would call anyone a hooligan. I just think that we have liberty to move around, and so I'm one of the persons that said citizens should stay at voting centers and coalition centers and remain be there. You see, if everything is valid, if everything is what do you call that, transparent, I get there, you count the votes, whoever won is won transparently, everybody goes home. But where you can see that the EC official was in bed with the NACMO boss, where they were exchanging explicit, what do you call it, messages, and the EC official in at a certain time. You see, all these things add to the people's fear that EC officials or some issue officials are there to steal what belongs to the people. And so I think that the more we are out there asking questions, the better we are. But and so I would say that this election, Ghanaians won the election because of vigilance. It wasn't because of anything. People were just over vigilant. Once you are vigilant, it will be difficult for anybody to check. The other aspect I would not subscribe to will be the issue of what do you call that, vandalism and all that. But it is better to ensure that things are done right. At the moment, like I said, we don't have in the country. It's only limited to a corner of the country that must be dealt with. And the issue is not also coming clear. I'm not sure what their motive is, but if you've done declarations, ask those who decide. Commissioner. Or the commissioners are not returning officers for parliament. They are not returning. We have just done constituency for presidential elections, which the Madame Jumensan would have to do the declaration. Apart from that, the constituencies have returning officers who must do declarations at various constituencies. So once it is done, whether under duress or no, or otherwise, if there is disagreement, but don't arrogate unto yourself powers that you don't have. That is what the EC is doing, arrogating unto themselves powers that they themselves do not have, and that is a worry to me.
Looting and vandalism of some of the municipal, other places that hold.
2 minutes. So please let's finish in 2 minutes.
Pardon?
And let me hear the last question, yes.
Yeah, so on the issue of the looting and vandalism, what are some of the measures you would suggest personnel to prevent that in the coming years?
I think that the police have handled it well. You see, it's better for us for vandalism, no matter how unfortunate that a car to be bent down than a human being to be bent and killed. So I would say that the police handles these issues well because they have arrested 100 plus persons and we are facing court.
Okay.
I mean, in the UK, in the US, and in other places, doing these things, usually they are not brutalized. They are rather filmed. You don't catch a mob. You don't catch a crowd. You get a few you can arrest and use them to identify who the leader is. Not the whole thing down. You go around apprehending them. But if you want to use force, you rather get the people agitated. They are going to. Self-preservation is. If you are not careful, you begin to kill people. We saw that in Techiman.
Yeah.
Okay, we saw that in Techiman in 2020. Personally, we haven't seen that this year. That anyone dying directly in that moment. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that is what we need to do.
Okay. Thank you very, very much for and we hope to have you in the studio one of these days with us to come and teach us more. Okay, it seems we lost him there. So that was Dr. Adam Bona joining us and giving us his submissions pertaining to our post-election violence and security. Yes, my esteemed panelists here too. So yes, of course, our security analyst has said a lot, but I'm sure you say with regards to some of the issues, yes, Randolph.
All right, so I think thank you very much. Said a lot.
Yeah.
And Katie, one thing that with regards to the EC's coalition issue that I believe and per the law is that it can be challenged only when, or I mean, people can go to court only per the law that we have, the electoral laws. People can go, the results are being gazetted. And leading to the gazetting, the law made it right that have the authority to fix whatever needs to be fixed before gazetting. Because when you gazette, or if EC gazette the whole processes or the final result, that is when somebody will have the opportunity to go to court. And so the law equally gives EC the privilege to be able to fix that they are facing currently. Because there is a precedent considering looking back at Afarijan, Dr. Afarijan, this time. There was an incident like that.
Okay.
And before, I mean, I've forgotten the exact what happened, but then there was something similar to, I mean, what is happening. And they fixed it. Okay. They fixed it before it went to gazetting. So I'm just trying to, that is what I believe. Okay. But then if you look at what Doc was saying actually concerning the electoral violence and also how people are vandalizing, you know, citizen arrest is there, but then looking at where we have come to as a country, there are processes, and as he stated, in citizenship arrest. If you go ahead and you say, I mean, there are misinformations.
Yeah.
People have given misinformation. So if you go arrest somebody whom probably you were misinformed and manhandle that person, it's against the law.
Yeah.
And some people, I watched a video of some priests
Yes.
who were being assaulted, based on misinformation. You get it? In the name, it's not right to our democracy. You went to, I mean, you got an information which was a false information. But one thing we should also state is that there is a certain government.
Yeah.
And this president is repeating almost, which is not good for our democracy. After election, there is still a government which is running. And why the state or the constitution. So transition means two governments, two bodies, the outgoing and then the incoming, form a committee that will see through the handing over. Until the handing over is done, you do not decide or you do not have the authority to say this asset belongs to A or B. So if you have any issue concerning someone amassing or taking any other thing, that is why we have the law. So we should let the police or the security agencies take or implement the needed guidance towards. Was at the end of the day, we'll end up, for instance, had Ablikuma law for something. Yes, where they have kept the ballot papers. It's a whole. Some people have gone to burn it, and the whole school is on fire, which is very unfortunate. So mine is that there are things that, as a citizen, it's our responsibility.
Yeah.
And there are things too that is for the security and the needed bodies who are actually given the role to play. So we should refrain. We should refrain from taking the security role and then the EC's role. EC is equally have the mandate to take care of some of the things. And then I also think service, they did well, but in some ways the cause, they've caused some of these things, because ahead of the elections we saw them, but we saw them actually told us that they were going to provide adequate security at various polling stations. Were there the security collation center or centers were also they were loopholes, and that is why people had the opportunity to even troop into the inside of the collation center, which actually brought us some of these issues.
So this conversation, it seems there's a lot more to it, and we would have to tackle it on Thursday. But Clement has a quick submission before we wrap up.
So he made mention of one thing, that's gazetting of members of parliament. So gazetting happens after returning officer declaration. So once returning officer has declared, then there should be a gazetting. So as security analyst said, the best thing EC would have done, should have told the various candidates who are at fault that quickly go to court and resolve the issue, so that EC would be at the best thing for them to do. As the security analyst said, what is duress? How do EC explain duress? We all here might have a different opinion on duress, but the court of law would have given. I think next time the EC.
But briefly, when the EC officer who was actually suppressed to declare has brought a how do I call it, a petition that he did not do it. The EC, until the Gazette thing take place, the EC per the law still have the chance to correct some of the things. The law gives EC that authority.
Okay. So how then So, like, I think one of the constituencies, they declared an NDC candidate, the MP elect.
Which were not rightly done.
And then later came to say that. So how do they correct that if, let's say, they come and say it's an MPP and then the NDC say, no, we won't agree?
So you're right. The PNDC law, according to 1992 Constitution, the 1992 PNDC law 284 makes us understand that any other person who has issues with a parliamentary result should go to the High Court.
Okay.
So that could have been the best way for EC to handle all these issues so that the EC will save the peace we have. As the security analyst said, this issue would bring a lot of issues from both political parties and nobody would understand. So the PNDC law explain that after the declaration by the returning officer, as the EC is saying that people declared under duress. If you listen to the you could understand. EC made a statement that one presiding officer said that there was a machete standing behind him for him to declare.
There's a whole lot.
And there was a whole lot to this issue. So I think EC, as security analyst said, he should, so that we won't have all these issues.
Okay. I think we have to pick this up on Thursday since we are still in the election season. So we will have you back before you take all the time today here. And it's been a pleasure as always. It's been educational Thursday. So yes, cherished viewers, please do stay tuned on Thursday. Join in the conversation. Keep it decorous. A big thank you to everybody that contributed to making the show a success. To you, our cherished viewers, for your comments and your support, and of course your viewership. Big thank you to management and production team, my accurate timekeeper here on my neck. Thank you to our sponsors. If you are looking to sponsor the show, sponsor the host as a collective, individually, just send us a message and then we can get into partnership and business. Miriam says she wants to give a shout out, so quickly.
So my beautiful top here was designed by Mami Sewa Clothing inside Pokwase.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Full top, so you can look for Mami Sewa Clothing online and then contact her so she can make you look as beautiful as Miriam is looking today. Thank you so much, and do have an amazing. See you bright and Wednesday morning.